After Kawhi Leonard was sent home yesterday, he was replaced by the Celtics' Derek White, which prompted the Celtics' Jaylen Brown, clearly not happy, to post some emojis and to tweet at Nike, "This what we doing?" Paul, what is going on here?
I don't know. You know what I feel about Jaylen Brown? I love him like a young brother, man. I just feel like, he's continuously throwing subliminal shots out there. But he's right about all this. He gets no respect in the NBA. He clearly doesn't. Because think about this. The Celtics won 64 games this year. He doesn't make All-NBA. But he goes out and wins the Larry Bird Trophy and the Bill Russell Trophy, which is the most outstanding player in the NBA Finals, the Bill Russell Trophy.
So Eastern Conference Finals and NBA Finals
Eastern Conference
MVP.
Finals MVP with the Larry Bird Trophy. But he doesn't make the Olympics. Now, yeah, you could argue Derek White. I love Derek White.
Sure.
He could be on there too. But when we talk about top candidates and we talk about a Finals MVP, 64-win team, a guy who's, he's not a guy that just, gets into trouble or demonstrative. Yeah, he's outspoken on certain things, of course. But his game speaks USA basketball, and I don't get it. I feel like when Kawhi Leonard shut it down, first name that came to my mind was Jaylen Brown. And as a matter of fact, before they even announced the team, I was like, why isn't Jaylen Brown on this team? Actually, to tell you the truth, and I thought he should have been over Kawhi in the first place. And the reason I'm saying that is because Kawhi's been always dealing with these injuries anyway. And I'm like, why would they put him on the team after he's coming off being injured at the end of the year? And jumping back, you should take the summer to rehab. And so, I get with Jaylen, but I love this for him. You know why? Because this is going to keep him motivated.
No doubt.
This is going to keep him motivated.
He's going to come back with another chip on his shoulder.
He's going to come back with another chip because I feel like this finals run, he played with that chip on his shoulder that he'd make All-NBA because he stated it. He didn't make no all-defensive team. So anything that's going to motivate him to keep him going, I'm kind of happy that these things are happening because this is going to result in another title run for the Celtics, and you're going to see a better Jaylen Brown next year. I promise you that.
See, I think it runs a little deeper. This is just me. I think it runs a little bit deeper than just leaving him off because of what Grant Hill said. Just, we got to put a certain team together. I think it runs a little bit deeper than that. Put some politicalness going on in this situation with Jaylen Brown. So Grant Hill went on to say, you have to build a team, and one of the hardest things is leaving people off the roster that he's a fan of. He looks forward to watching throughout the season, throughout the playoffs, guys who have been finals MVPs, guys who've been part of programs, guys that have won gold medals, which Jaylen Brown hadn't won gold medal. But then he goes on to say, guys who I respect, admire, and enjoy watching. So I'm like, okay, what does that mean? Because Jaylen Brown got some edge to him now. Okay, and he stands for certain things. And so I go back to his emojis, and he says, Nike, at Nike, this is what we're doing. At Nike, this is what we're doing now. So what does that bring me to? That brings me to the Kyrie Irving situation. When he took a certain stance against Nike because they dropped Kyrie, and Kyrie...
Jaylen took the stance.
Yeah, Jaylen took the stance.
He criticized Nike.
Criticizing Nike, and he wears Nike shoes without the swoosh. He takes it off, Skip.
Because he's a free agent. He's
a free agent. He used to be a three-striper, an Adidas guy. So he takes it off.
He does.
He doesn't wear it and gives them free advertisement because for whatever reasons, whether he respects the logo or it's the Kyrie situation. But then when you look at it, and I'm looking at the roster, everybody's a Nike guy except 3 players that's on the roster. Everybody's a Nike guys except 3 players that's on the roster. Why would he say that and hit Nike and say at Nike when saying that? He didn't say at Under Armour or at Coca-Cola or Pepsi or whatever. And it reminds me somewhat of what MJ did with the Reebok situation, covering it up in '92. Hey man, I'm not giving y'all nothing for free. But it's weird because I did it in college as a football player, Skip. I completed my senior year in the Rose Bowl, biggest game in the world. I covered up the swoosh. I covered it up. The swoosh, there it go right there. Covered it completely up.
Had you signed with?
I hadn't signed with nobody yet.
All right.
I hadn't signed with nobody yet. This was the biggest game, biggest stage. I said, well, I'm not getting ready to give Nike anything for free. So I covered it completely. Nike signed up and eventually signed with Adidas because Nike was playing, they political. They were playing games. Now, obviously, they were mad in the university, at the university for allowing me to do it. But that's, so when I look at this, I'm saying to myself, if he was a Nike guy, would he be on this team? Would he be on the team if he was a Nike guy or had not said or criticized Nike, which we all know in professional sports, in sports in general, they're the gorilla on the mountain. They're the biggest of the big. They're the biggest of the big.
I think they're a sponsor of the Olympics, too, right?
And they're a sponsor of the Olympics. So the biggest of the big. Does it have anything to do with him being left off the team? Why would he say what he just said? Why would he say that, Skip?
Great question.
Yep.
So
because it ain't against Derek White.
Yeah.
It's not against his teammate.
And it hurts even sting a little more when it's your teammate.
And remember, Drew Holiday's on there also. So two other Celtics.
No,
are
three.
On. Well, I mean, with Jason
Oh,
Tatum.
with Tatum.
But I mean, there are two other Celtics, right? Which brings me to Jason Tatum, who is a big Nike guy. He just came out with his new signature shoe, and he's going to be on the cover of the 2K.
Jordan, right? Brand Jordan.
He's Brand Jordan, yes.
Which is Nike.
All right. So you don't even have to respond to this because I don't want to put you in an awkward situation. This is just me from a distance. This smacks of, it smells like Jason Tatum and Jaylen just don't really get along.
No,
and
not
you
it.
don't think so?
No, that's not it.
Jason Tatum, it feels like to
that's not it
me,
either.
is saying, hey, I just need a break. I don't want to have to live with him for a whole nother month so closely when we go to Paris. I just don't want to do this. And Grant Hill is saying, you know what? For our chemistry's sake, I don't want to do this. That's what it comes across to me, and I don't know any background. I'm just trying to read it from a distance.
I understand.
It's because Jason is such a big Nike guy, and Jaylen is saying, Nike, is this how we're playing this? Is this what we're doing? You're going to keep me out of this for Jason's sake? That's how it comes. Because I can't figure it out other than that.
But, Coach, Jason is a Brand Jordan guy.
Right.
Yeah.
I understand it's a parent company,
under the
but it's
umbrella.
Brand Jordan versus Nike.
Yeah.
He went after Nike, not Brand Jordan. He didn't go after Michael. So I don't know that it's that as much as it is Phil Knight.
Part and parcel? Aren't they just sort of...
Yeah, but I don't... It is and it isn't. There's two different companies. It's parent company, it's two different companies. But I think it's more... I personally think it's more the swoosh side saying, we don't want that, ain't no telling what he might get up there and cover the logo up with the flag.
Yeah, okay.
That's what I think.
Okay. All that is fair. And yet, when I think about basketball, just pure grade A basketball, let's go win the gold medal basketball. And I know Kawhi's game, and I know Jaylen Brown's game. And you talk all about Ant-Man and his personality, and you want him on your team. Listen, Jaylen Brown is not as flamboyant as Ant-Man, but you want to talk about having that dog in you? Jaylen Brown has got it. And Jaylen Brown's the guy I want in my foxhole when we're playing the Knicks or the Sixers or whoever we're playing, trying to fight up through the Eastern Conference. I want Jaylen Brown on my side because he's going to take and make the big shots, and he's going to say things on the bench when something needs to get said. He's not going to scream and yell it, but he's going to say it.
But that,
right?
and it's interesting you say that because that also crossed my mind when I look at the roster. Outside of Ant-Man, there's no...
Yeah.
What do you want to call it?
One of those guys.
One of those guys. There's not that guy on there.
Not.
And I don't know that type of guy lends itself to Grant Hill.
Maybe
I don't know
not,
that...
Because Grant wasn't...
Yeah, so I don't know...
That's a good point.
I don't know
That's a
that
good
type of guy lends
Yeah.
itself... Now, at some point, he's going to have to put him on there anyway in 28.
Yeah.
2028, he's going to wind up having...
He's going to have to.
He's going to have to. They're going to have to put him on there.
All right,
Brown.
but when I talk
Jaylen
about,
Brown.
just pure basketball, I know Kawhi's game, and I know Jaylen's basketball game, just the way he plays, and he's right out of Kawhi's mold, right? Like they do a lot of the same things, right? If I need to replace Kawhi, is Jaylen Brown not the perfect replacement?
Because I don't get it. Well, like, what would you guys consider, like, Jaylen Brown's image to be? Like, you know.
What would I consider his image?